Breaking news, breaking news. I know many of you guys that are into crypto was wondering what happened to Sam Bankman-Fried. Well, they got him. They got him. This just in. Let's get it
News
started.
today. We broke it here on the air. Sam Bankman-Fried arrested by authorities in the Bahamas. Let's talk about this even further, and let's bring in Fox News correspondent Jonathan Hunt, who's standing by. Jonathan, so maybe a lot of people thought this was going to happen, maybe not as quickly, but it has happened. What's going on here?
Yeah, it caught us all a little unawares, I think, that it has happened this quickly. Obviously, Sam Bankman-Fried, Andrew, has been in the Bahamas. He's been giving interviews to a lot of media outlets, while at the same time refusing to testify in front of the U.S. Senate. And he seems unfazed, essentially, by the collapse of that $32 billion crypto company, FTX, as well as by all the questions about what he or someone else may have done with billions of dollars of investors' money. Obviously, he may be a little more concerned tonight now that he is under arrest, that arrest being announced by U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, who said, and this is a quote from a statement, quote, "Earlier this evening, Bahamian authorities arrested Samuel Bankman-Fried at the request of the U.S. government based on a sealed indictment filed by the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning, and we'll have more to say at that time." The New York Times reporting tonight, Andrew, that the charges will include wire fraud and securities fraud. Those are obviously going to be the center of this indictment when we get to hear the details in the morning, Andrew.
Yeah, and of course, Jonathan, there's a lot happening on Capitol Hill, too, on whether or not lawmakers are going to subpoena him and whether or not he's going to show up and testify in front of some of these committees like House Financial Services, like Senate Banking. He hasn't accepted or agreed to do so just yet. Obviously, he has a lot more to worry about than what lawmakers want to ask him. What are our elected leaders saying? Obviously, they want to hold him accountable on Capitol Hill, but will we see him in front of them anytime soon, you think?
I don't think you will now see him in front of either the House committee that wanted to talk to him or the Senate committee that had, in fact, said they were going to issue a subpoena, and Sam Bankman-Fried had said he would not accept that subpoena anyway. But yes, the political leaders will now let the criminal process play out now that he has indeed or is indeed facing this indictment and these charges that include very serious charges of securities fraud and wire fraud, according to the New York Times. Those charges alone, Andrew, could lead to a life term in prison. So yeah, he is facing some very serious charges, and the politicians will now undoubtedly let this play out, the justice system play out before they would even expect to have him in front of them answering questions. Obviously, the questions he will be asked by U.S. prosecutors now take precedence over anything the politicians might have wanted to ask him, Andrew.
And Jonathan, we know FTX and SBF, they were, based and are living in the Bahamas. Any idea of when he could return stateside, whether it's voluntarily or via extradition to face these charges? Do we have any information on that?
Yeah, the Attorney General in the Bahamas has said when and if they get an extradition request, and they are expecting one, we would expect it to be filed very quickly indeed. The Attorney General there in the Bahamas saying that it will be processed promptly, in his words, and according to the protocols of the extradition treaty with the United States. And there is an extradition treaty, so I would not expect there to be any complications in that process. So you can expect Samuel Bankman-Fried to be heading back to the U.S. Fairly quickly, I would imagine, Andrew.
All right, Fox's Jonathan Hunt there live for us. This saga continues with this major break and development in this story, and we'll continue to follow it here. Jonathan, thanks so much. We appreciate your reporting.
Sure.